Welcome to the InfoGov Hot Seat Vodcast, featuring candid interviews with practitioners, consultants, and solution providers on hot topics in the information governance industry. Here's your host, Jim Merrifield.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the InfoGov Hot Seat. I'm your host, Jim Merrifield, and with me today is Nitza Medina-Garcia from InfoCompass. Welcome, Nitza.
Well, thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, this is exciting. Thanks so much. So I got a few questions for you. I promise that I won't make you feel uncomfortable or anything with the questions. But how about a brief introduction of your role, how long you've been in the field of records management, and then one fun fact about yourself.
All right. So my name, of course, is Nitza, and I am the founder of InfoCompass, and we work with implementing iManage Records Manager software and just general consulting. But as far as how long I've been in records management, so I think officially since about 2004, but before that, I was actually working in an allied field of archives, and so if we count all of that, probably back to 95. So I've been in sort of the information management realm for several years. As far as ARMA, I've also been involved in ARMA, which is, of course, the records management professional organization, being both a chapter member in New York City as well as in the greater Sacramento area. And then here in Sacramento, I was the past president, past president, secretary. You know, when you're a small chapter, you kind of circle around the board position. So I've been had been doing that for quite a while as well. And,
that's great.
And let's see, you said a fun fact. So fun fact is that when I was in New York City, I was in a off-Broadway play that when I was an archivist, I had gone and done some acting classes. And so our acting, group had been during 2001, so like around the 9/11 time. And so 9/11 happened, and we were just trying to process our feelings about what was happening. And so we workshopped a play, and that play ended up going around the city. And so it was one place was an off Broadway, in that it was kind of a theater that's kind of a not so theater on 8th Avenue, if you know what I mean. And so we ended up having, on the second floor, we had our play that we went through, and it got a lot of local press, but they got more successful, kept going on with that, and I was like, no, my normal job is being an archivist, so I kind of we had to separate. But that was my fun fact.
That's awesome. So you chose the field of archivist and records management over a possible celebrity track.
That's where my heart was, history, archivists, records. So that's where I am.
That's awesome. No, and you talked you've been in records management for a while. I know you've been involved with ARMA for a long time as well. And let's talk a little bit about that. Mm-hmm. I know for a while now you've been leading the ARMA Legal Roundtable. And what made you lead this group, and how long have you been doing that?
So I was looking for a place where I could hear more about just legal challenges and solutions. So with being in the greater Sacramento chapter, our chapter was more based on government representatives, with being the capital of the state. And so I was always looking for kind of more information about law firms, corporate legal, that kind of information. And it was kind of hard geographically to find someone in my area where we could kind of talk about that. So I was always excited to go to the ARMA conferences, and there was like the industry roundtables, and that was usually kind of once a year. And so in 2019, I don't remember if I approached ARMA or if ARMA approached me, but it was around that time where they were starting to pilot the legal industry groups that are on the website. And so they asked me if I would want to be the administrator there. And I said, yeah, that would be great. And so from there, I started being able to, try to encourage people to join. I also encouraged not only myself, but other coordinators as well to be able to assist with organizing the legal industry group. And so, yeah, that's kind of how it started, and then it's just kind of continued to evolve.
That's awesome. No, and you do a fabulous job leading that community, both in by the way of webinars, blog posts. I know you're active on the MyARMA site, so definitely appreciate that being in the legal community. So you spoke a little bit about the topics that you kind of discussed, but what are some of the topics that are discussed in this group, both on the MyARMA listserv and also I know you put on webinars as well. You just did one recently, right?
Yeah, so the topics come from different places. So from our group of coordinators, so we have like Barbara Dalton and Rishi and Deborah McClaskey, Susan Gleason, there's basically representatives who all want to hear about different topics that are of interest, as well as just topics that come up either in our discussion board on the ARMA website or during the different coffee and chats that we do. But usually the topics are on challenges. Like a lot of them are just maybe some of the basics, like putting together a retention policy, questions about schedules from a legal perspective. There was just in our last coffee and chat, there was questions about outside counsel guidelines and like what people are doing and how quickly people get into the conversations or bring in information governance to talk through those conversations. Talk about digital scanning and kind of how that may be used for a mailroom or maybe even backlog of boxes that are off-site. How do you determine what to scan or what not to? And then I know, especially during the pandemic time, we were talking about, well, how are you still being able to move forward? So, because we really got started around 2019, so then all through kind of the pandemic, it was sort of like a touch point, so people were able to communicate, especially because chapters weren't necessarily meeting, right? So we were doing a lot of virtual coffee and chats to kind of go through and communicate with each other. But we do alternate, so we meet monthly, and so at first it was kind of just the roundtable or coffee and chats that we call it. But lately we have been trying to alternate and having like a presentation on a topic that might be of interest. So like last month we had a presentation on just digitizing in the mailroom. So that was a very helpful one. And then we have one coming up that's going to be on data mapping. And so how to, if you're a firm or corporate legal and you need to produce a data map of where your information is located, we'll talk about some things to consider, some best practices as well. So we're really open as far as the topics. We really want, the ARMA members themselves to give us topics that are top of mind for them, because it's really, I'm doing this, we're doing it to make sure that the communication is there.
No, that's wonderful. And these are all hot topics, right? That all of us in the law firm community have faced, continue to face, right? We're all kind of in this together. And so you meet monthly. I know that.
Hmm.
And I like the variety, right? There's a variety of ways to meet. Um, Now, who can join? Do you have to be like an ARMA member, or how does that work?
My understanding is that you do have to be an ARMA member, but it is free for anybody who is in ARMA. And
Mhm.
so it's not like an extra like chapter charge, when you have memberships. If you're a member of ARMA, then you're open to be able to be in the legal industry group.
Oh, that's great. And so it's really a way for like-minded individuals, right, working in a law firm to meet one another, right? Because during the pandemic, we were kind of meeting each other in these little boxes. And
Hmm.
it's a way to kind of meet each other, maybe if we're in the same region or something like that. I mean, I know there's chapters as well, but sometimes we as law firm practitioners, right, we almost speak a foreign language, right, with in different a different language than the corporations, right? Sometimes our workflow is a lot different, so it's nice to meet like-minded individuals, right, that are doing the similar work.
Yeah, yeah, and I think it's helpful to put faces to names. So being able to be in these virtual meetings, or even in during at the conference when we're able to be together in person, I think the relationship building is also very important. So that if you have a question and you don't have to wait till the meeting itself to ask, you can. What I would like to do is to help with building those relationships so people can feel comfortable with calling each other up and saying, "Hi, I have this challenge. Have you had that challenge before?" So definitely having the relationships to be able to speak to one another is great. And when I have gone to some different events, people have come up to me who attended and said this is a really great resource, for them, especially new records managers that may still, or maybe they weren't technically a records manager, but we're kind of still learning about it. Especially in our group, we have some corporate legal representation as well, and so some of those members may be very new to kind of the records management, so they're just trying to learn, and so this is another place where they can learn.
Oh, that's excellent, and that's fabulous that you give of your time and connecting people by way of meetups and putting faces to names. So that's excellent. So where do you see this group going in the future? I know you've been involved with it for a few years now, heading the group. Where do you see this group morphing into in the future? How do you see it changing or evolving?
I just, well, we've been growing um, for many years now. So I think we're at about 200 people there
Wow.
within the industry group. I would like to continue to see people, attending the meetings, being able to continue with that. I know that we've been, because ARMA is hosting the discussion area, I'd like for that area to become just a great resource for the legal industry, whether it's, having reference items there, files, any sort of um, I don't know if you'd call it a wiki, but kind of a place where you can, store information that might be of assistance for our group. So I think having that area would be great. If we could include, increasing our presence during the conference, and maybe having, I've heard in the past that there was like even like a legal track within ARMA conference. So maybe having additional, because I know we at least have the industry group meetup, but if we can have maybe additional meetings during the conference as well, that would be great. But really, it's up to what the members want, and so I can see it evolving to based on their needs.
Yeah, no, those are all great ideas. I think my first ARMA conference, that was the track that
Hmm.
I attended, and kept coming back from there. I got introduced to different people in the legal community that were affiliated with ARMA, for sure. So, no, thank you so much for talking about the ARMA Legal Roundtable. I want to switch gears for a second,
Hmm.
because I know you're a thought leader, right, in the IG space, and I just wanted to ask you one question right before we let you go.
Okay.
Um, where do you see the information governance community, right? You see, or even the landscape, right? In 2023, there's so many things going on in the area of information governance, right? There's Chat GPT, there's different softwares out there, there's different AI out there. Where do you see the focus or the hot trends coming from maybe this year and beyond? I know it's kind of a loaded question, but just wanted to ask you.
I feel like, at least right now, what I'm seeing is that there's just like a lot of trying to clean up after the pandemic. So there's lots of things that firms had to do to get by, to survive. And so I feel like in the next few years here that we're probably looking at, the repercussions of that, trying to understand, well, where is our information now? Now we need to have a better data map, right? Or, maybe there was a lot of electronic information that now needs to be disposed of. Well, how do we do that now? So, and then legacy documents that are paper, we don't want to have, keep them around as much anymore. How can we quickly begin getting approvals and getting rid of that? So I think that a lot of what we'll see in the next recent years is just kind of trying to clean up and from the pandemic.
Yeah, no, appreciate those insights, and it's almost like a back to basics type
Mm-hmm.
thing, right? But it's all process improvement that can push our organizations forward. So, listen, Nitza, thank you so much for your time, joining me today on the InfoGov hot seat, and for introducing us to the ARMA Legal Roundtable. If we're not familiar with it, I'm sure the group will continue to grow, and of course, I look forward to supporting you and the group. So thank you so much for spending some time today. If you'd like to be a guest on the InfoGov hot seat, just like Nitza here, please submit your information through our website. And thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the InfoGov Hot Seat. Follow us on Spotify, YouTube, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and LinkedIn. Check out our main website at infogovhotseat.com to view our latest episodes and much more.